listen, thank you so much, everybody, for coming to our Employee of the Week, Friday's Heroes. And this week we also have a Volunteer of the Month story that's really a touching story that really looking forward to telling. As most of you know, for the past at least 4 years, we get together every Friday and we celebrate our employees at the city of Albuquerque, our civilian employees, if you will, and also our firefighters and our police officers, our sworn officers, and just tell our community some of the great work that's happening out there with your tax dollars, but also just the heart of service that we have at the city of Albuquerque. We have over 5,000 employees at the city. These folks get up every day. They work hard for you and for me to make our city a better place. And so I just love telling the stories. It's my favorite part of the week. So today let's talk about our Employee of the Week, which is Adrian Armijo, who is with us here. He works with our Solid Waste Management Department, and we are going to honor Adrian today for just going out of his way when he didn't have to. He's our Employee of the Week. So the story is this. Adrian's driving eastbound on I-40 and he notices a vehicle is pulled off to the side of the road. We all see that every day. Most of the time, most of us drive by. Adrian took the next exit and he turned around to see how he could help. He pulled up behind the stranded vehicle and he noticed that it had a flat tire. And the vehicle had it says here, terrified female driver, who turns out to be Danielle Mann, who I just found out, who works downstairs at our employee health clinic. And she informed Adrian that she'd already called AAA, but they were on their way, but they hadn't quite arrived yet. So AAA did send a crew to help and also called APD to ensure that the situation was safe. And as you know, changing the tire on the interstate can be a harrowing experience. Before AAA arrived, Adrian changed the tire and he sent the relieved driver, Danielle, on her way. And we just want to thank him for stopping when he didn't have to. And Danielle actually sent a letter on our behalf, on Adrian's behalf, and that's why we're here today. This is what brought it to our attention. And in the letter, she said that while waiting for AAA to arrive, Adrian was the only person that stopped to help a damsel in distress. He was my knight in rusty armor. and it's because of these actions that we're giving Adrian this award this week. And I want to introduce Marco Holloway to you, and he's going to say a few words also. Marco's a real rock star for the city. If you like clean streets and if you like graffiti being gone when you see it, Marco's your man. I met him a couple of years. Well, I met him right after I took over as mayor, and was immediately impressed with his ability at the Solid Waste Department to really have a passion for keeping our city clean. So he runs Clean Cities and other things at the city. So, Marco, why don't you come up and say a few words, if you would?
Yeah, I think the mayor's got it right. He was a knight in shining armor that day, or rusty armor, however you want to say it. But I think Adrian exemplifies what a lot of the solid waste employees are all about. They're out here to serve the citizens, and I think they do a fantastic job every day. And on this particular day, he did go out of his way. I think it was courageous of him, because they were both in a hazardous situation here. She was obviously frightened, and he actually noticed that and came to her rescue. And it's not surprising. Adrian's an outstanding employee and always goes the extra mile for the citizens. So just want to thank you, Adrian, for
What were you driving at the time?
Roll off.
A roll-off?
Roll-off.
Yeah, big blue truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. What year do you drive?
01.
An 01, so we need to get you in the,
2001.
yeah, we need to get him in this little mirror. we have a new plan to buy. We're buying new. You notice all the new trucks we're buying, so yeah, maybe that puts him up on the list a little bit. Hey, listen, Adrian, on behalf of the city, we want to give you an Employee of the Week mug. We also have a certificate that is for the Employee of the Week and a letter for your personnel file. And
okay,
just want to thank you for keeping our city clean and in this case, helping out one of our great constituents. So thanks a lot. Appreciate you. Thanks, Marco. Thank you. Firefighter Vallejos, you want to come up? What's that?
Sam's his brother.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my
We always tell our heroes and our employees that we bring your family with you. You know, bring your kids, and I guess you brought some of your kids with you today. So we want to thank everybody here. Our Friday's hero is Greg Vallejos, and he is an Albuquerque firefighter. And we want to talk to you about one of his heroic actions. And actually, I want to thank the media here on this one first. This is a story that you may have seen on the news not long ago about an arroyo rescue. And this is a very serious issue, and we're in monsoon season, and we just want to get the word out to the community. Stay out of the arroyos. Stay out of the arroyos. It's dangerous out there, and I'm going to tell you another story about it today. But the media really does a good job helping us get the word out to the community, so once again, thank you for that. So Greg Vallejos is our Friday's hero. He was driving home from a doctor's appointment on the afternoon of August 13th. You off duty?
Yes.
And this is another story about a firefighter and a police officer who did something heroic while off duty. As he drove through the parking lot of Windrock Shopping Center, he noticed that there was a commotion and decided to stop and see what was happening. When Greg got out of his vehicle, people began to inform him that there was a young girl trapped in the arroyo. Greg, his training kicked in immediately, and he started managing the incident, even though he was off duty. I don't think you were in uniform, were you?
No.
No. He identified himself as an off-duty firefighter, and then he calmed everybody down. So there were no additional victims. Greg also made sure that no one else entered the arroyo to try to save the girl, because if you're not trained in this area, it can become a multiplication of disasters if you don't know what you're doing. He then called dispatch, and he secured the area, making sure that everybody was safe. He also assisted APD in pulling the young woman out of the rushing arroyo and then carrying her to the ambulance for medical assistance. And as I said earlier, these arroyos are very, very dangerous. Waters oftentimes travel at 30 miles an hour or better, greater speed in these arroyos. And this young lady had been swept away by the rushing water, and she was carried almost 2.5 miles. So you think about that, rushing water, 30 miles an hour, 2.5 miles. That is a compelling reason to stay out of the arroyos. And this incident, quite frankly, could have ended quite differently if Greg and the APD and our great officers wouldn't have been there to help her. So he is our Friday's hero, and I'd like Chief Downey to talk a little bit more about the situation, if you could.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mayor. Just to reiterate what the Mayor said about the arroyos, Greg's actions here were truly heroic, and I'm thank you, Mayor, for recognizing his efforts. This was one of those days where it was raining in the foothills, but not in the majority of the city, and the arroyo started to fill up very quickly. Not only did Greg and the APD officers help with the rescue, within 30 minutes of that rescue, Station 13 rescued a man at the Morningside site on the very same day. So I want to congratulate those firefighters and all the firefighters as well on the heroic actions that they partake every day. And please, we're not out of the monsoon season. It lasts through September. Let's keep everybody out of the arroyos and everybody safe. And Greg, again, congratulations and thank you for your service.
So as we do every week, we have a Friday's Heroes coin. It's got our public safety services on the back and the city seal on the front. And with gratitude, we thank you for your service every day as a firefighter. But on this particular day, I know there's a young woman out there who's going to have hopefully a long and happy life because you were there to help her out of this arroyo, and I'm sure she learned a valuable lesson as well. But we thank you very much.
Thank you.
And as always, we'll make everybody available for interviews afterwards. And so thank you, and thanks to all the rest of our folks from AFD who are here with us today. And send our thanks back to the guys and gals in the field. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mayor.
Today we have a really special story to tell about a family who suffered a tragic loss and who's turned that tragedy into good in our community. And our volunteers of the month are Terry and Lawrence Vargas, who are here with us, and they brought a team of their friends and family with them to tell you their story. They are our volunteers of the month for a really good reason. Their son, Lawrence Charles Vargas, was fatally shot back in the year 2008 by an assailant who is now behind bars. And Terry and Lawrence, after that tragedy in their lives, began a nonprofit in memory of their son called Shoes for Kids and Acts of Compassion. And these are the shirts that you see on a lot of the folks up here today. Their foundation seeks donations from the community, and then they purchase shoes and they distribute these shoes to children in need. They've given away more than 5,000 pairs of shoes since they began this great work in this charity back in 2008. In addition to the shoes, they also host activities for children. They have barbecues, they include face painting, balloons, games, just getting people together and treating each other like friends and neighbors like we should. And it's wonderful to see. It's inspiring to see these parents who, as I said, have experienced a tragedy and the loss of their child create such an uplifting program. And I want to thank Terry and Lawrence for your amazing work in our community. And I think, Terry, you want to say a few words as well. And I'd like Councilor Sanchez also, after Terry's finished speaking, to say a few words. I know Council President's involved in this as well. So I apologize for the height of the podium. If you'd like to, I'm sure the microphones will pick you up if you want to stand, off to the side, however you would. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Terry Lawrence.
Thank you. We're overwhelmed. On behalf of our family, Lawrence, David, my son on earth, and Lawrence Charles, my son in heaven, our hearts are overflowing with gratitude. First of all, to our God who gives us the strength and courage to forge forward with our son's memorial project. To Mayor Barry and your staff for bestowing upon us this honor today, and for creation of initiative that supports building community and taking care of each other. And of course, to Louis Montoya, who took the time to nominate our son's memorial project for this honor. Who would have thought that a little boy who loved shoes would be the reason we are gathered here today? Yes, Lawrence Charles loved shoes. He loved his community, but more than anything, he loved giving shoes away. What has started out as a memorial for healing for us as a family has blossomed into a labor of love that has touched so many, not just those who received the shoes, but sponsors, supporters, and volunteers as well. Yes, we do raise funds mainly through the sales of family artwork. Lawrence, my husband, and my sons are all artists, and we accept private donations and business sponsorships that we could not do without. A special thank you to Randy Sanchez of Coronado Center and Rob and Randy at Kirtland Air Force Base, who sponsor us with venues every holiday season for our art show fundraisers. To Mitch and Debbie of Prestige Event Center, who have supported our events in so many ways. To Councilman Ken Sanchez, who has been a lifelong friend, who knew Lawrence Charles as a little boy and as a young man, and has continued to support Shoes for Kids since its inception. And of course, we have to thank Mark Blea. Mark is the district manager for Payless, and his Payless team, who make it possible for us to get great shoes at great discounts. And his team is amazing at organizing the shoe giveaways. The Albuquerque Fire Department and the Albuquerque Police Department have supported us with their presence at our events and escorting us when we take our shoe giveaways on the road. My son Lawrence Charles was an aspiring firefighter, so it always gives me great hope to have the fire department involved. And now my son David is aspiring to be a firefighter as well. And then there's Herrera Bus and Coach Company. We couldn't do it without them. They transport kids and volunteers to all our giveaway events all over New Mexico. So, many bless us so that we may bless others. But the real heroes in all of this are our volunteers and all of our supporters. Today we have just a sampling of over 100 volunteers who tirelessly give of their time, talent, compassion, and love as we travel all over New Mexico to bring hope and healing and love through shoes. I never thought I could experience joy since we lost our son, but his project brings me joy through the children who wear the shoes we give. I see in them hope for the future. I see in them Lawrence Charles, and we couldn't do it without these volunteers. They too bring us joy as they dedicate their service not only in memory of Lawrence Charles, but in honor of their loved ones who have gone before us. A wise principal that I worked for once said, oh, I am a teacher. No matter what the cause, it's the people who make it work. And you were so right, Kathy Potter. She's one of our volunteers. We are surrounded by an amazing group of people. Kathy, too, is a lifelong friend and one of our loyal volunteers. And just last night, when we were chatting late at night, she described feeling like a hometown hero every time she looks into the eyes of a child who has just received a new pair of shoes, along with the message of hope and the power of paying it forward. Every one of our volunteers is truly a hometown hero with a big heart. And in the midst of it all, we've become a big family. Not one of us is as strong as all of us. I want to recognize my husband, Lawrence, and my son, David, who couldn't be here today. He's working, as we pulled together like no other time in our lives to take the adversity of losing Lawrence Charles and channeling it into something positive for others. While our lives will never be the same without him, we continue to be blessed, like today, through this project for all who make it possible. And last but not least, the biggest hero of all is our son and brother, Lawrence Charles. His spirit of giving and caring, of compassion and paying it forward, and random acts of kindness lives on with every pair of shoes we give away, one pair at a time. And like our t-shirts say, love never ends. And with that, we're going to make you an honorary
Well,
Shoes
that's
for
great.
Kids
Thank you so much for that.
volunteer.
Thank you so much. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your leadership. This is what community looks like, and it's just amazing. It's humbling for me to get a chance to be with you today. I know that Councilor Sanchez wants to add some thoughts as well. Councilor, please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's truly an honor to be standing here today with the Vargas family. What was a random act of violence has turned into a random act of kindness. And each and every event that the Vargases have, it's incredible to see the number of children that are there receiving shoes, and just what a spiritual event it is, because we know that Lawrence Charles is there with us as these shoes are given to these young children. But Lawrence and Terry and David could have just basically gone away and said, you know, we can't deal with this. This was a tragedy that we're not going to be able to live on and do the great things that we've done. But these individuals are just tremendous human beings, and they continue to give back each and every day to the community. I mean, Lawrence, with his artwork, they go to Coronado and sell art pieces, and with that money, they buy the shoes. And thank God we have Mark Blea, who is my first cousin, by the way, who does give the Vargases a major discount in providing the shoes to the kids. But again, this was a random act of violence, and it turned into a random act of kindness. And the Vargases continue to give back to the community along with the many volunteers. Today is an extraordinary day, and I want to personally say thank you to Mayor Barry for acknowledging the volunteerism of the Vargases, and they will continue to do this for many, many years to come. And we really appreciate what you've done for this community. And one of the things that I will be doing and asking the library board in the near future, we are building a brand new library on Albuquerque's west side and on West Central. The completion of that should be sometime in December. And I will be presenting to the Arts Board and asking the Arts Board to dedicate the children's room at the library after Lawrence Charles Vargas. They are going to donate the art pieces to the city of Albuquerque, and it's going to be some of the pieces that he drew up when he was a young child. And I just think that would be a tremendous asset to our community, and hopefully we'll have the support of the mayor, from the Arts Board,
You do.
and from the Albuquerque City Council.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for all your work, and they want to give shoes away that day if that's possible.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
And we will.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Councilor. People ask me all the time, and I'm never shy about telling people how great of a city we live in. And the next question out of people's mouth is, why do you say that? As a mayor, why do you say you live in a great city? And it's because of this. It's because of Terry and Lawrence and their heart for giving and how they bless the city. And it's for our firefighters that pull people out of arroyos, and our city employees that go out every day and help somebody in need, and our friends and neighbors that live here, just coming together as a community. And it's just a super humbling thing for me as a mayor to see these acts of love. And so thank you, as I said, for your leadership and for all that you're doing for kids all over New Mexico. It really sends the right message, and it's just wonderful. So what we have some Employee of the Week mugs we'd like you to have that we give to our volunteers of the month, and then we also have a certificate for the Volunteer of the Month as well, and I've got a couple of the mayor's pins I'd like you to have as well. So what I really want you to know is you have our gratitude, and
Thank you.
and we're just so thankful for you doing what you're doing. So thank you
We
very much.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.